The obvious is we are thrilled that we were able to pull out a win. Colorado's a very good team, very well coached team, has a lot of really good players on it. Obviously, just a year ago, despite it being a different team, we struggled to even compete. And to be here a little over a year later where we were able to compete in the last 2 minutes is a big deal. A lot of that is behind Tineya and her performance. She was so composed and so calm in the last few minutes of that game, and I think it's reflected in her play, and it's been really exciting to see her growth. Pleased that we were able to pull out a win without Jill down the stretch, which is also really tough. And I love how everyone contributed in their own way, and we talk about it all the time. We need all 11, and then the two that aren't in games, we need them practicing. I'm just overall very proud of our program today because I feel like so many people participate in us being able to compete at a high level, and I'm very thankful for all those people and the crowd today.
Tineya, Jillian fouls out with about 8 minutes left, and while that play was going under review, she looked and gave a message to you guys on the court, kind of that uplifting kind of message. What changed from there to really get your offensive game going? 18 points in the fourth quarter. What kind of turned there for you guys?
Jill is a big player for us, key player. Her fouling out was pretty tough, but she did tell us stick together, and we really did it for her. We know that she's a part of the team, and she's a big part of the team. So we really did it for her, knowing that she wasn't able to affect the game how she wanted to.
And then Katrina, obviously Colorado jumps out to that 11-2 run. Chloe comes in and provides a huge spark off the bench. What did you see from her in the opening minutes to kind of put you guys back in position to fight for this one?
You know, it's no secret that being a freshman is tough, and being the only freshman is tough. And then it gets even tougher when you are learning in real time. She doesn't get a big opportunity to sit and watch the game. I put her in about 2.5 minutes into the first quarter, and then we just see how things are going to go. I thought that we saw some tremendous growth from her today in terms of her composure. There were some calls that could have gone either way, that could have put her on the free throw line. She didn't get some of them, and her team did a great job rallying around her. And then she did a great job responding. So I think we're just watching a freshman grow up right in front of us.
Coach, you all trailed by 12 at one point in the third quarter. What was your message in the huddle to your team in that moment?
Well, right before that moment, we said it's going to be one or two things. Either this lead is going to blow up, or you're going to be aggressive enough and want to win enough that we're going to cut into it. And we were really fortunate that they responded in a way that showed that they wanted to win the game. And I think sometimes when shots aren't falling, it can just be really discouraging. But we try to continue to hang our hat on getting stops, and that includes rebounding the ball at a high rate. We were at a deficit there too, and ended up tying it up by the end of the game. We got to the free throw line. Just playing basketball in the way that we know brings us success, and locking in on that. And I thought that they did that down the stretch.
You had 12 rebounds from Allianz and Diva. What kind of difference did she make defensively down the road with Jillian missing a majority of the second half?
Oh, it's huge. She also had 4 blocks. Allianz is deceptively disruptive. I don't know that we recognize how many shots she alters and or blocks down there until you look at the stat sheet and you go back and you watch the game. You're like, wow, that was Allianz helping off and making sure that the leading scorer is not getting easy buckets. It's usually her that's doing that. We asked ourselves in the beginning of the season in non-conference, when she's getting all these rebounds, can she do that in the Big 12? And I think we got our answer in the first 6 games that she absolutely can.
Coach, you guys forced Colorado to turn the ball over 21 times this game. What specifically on the defensive end was really working to cause those turnovers?
I think the pressure. We have a team that I take blame for, can be very conservative defensively. We preach keep the ball in front, but every once in a while, if you can just use your athleticism and gamble and be scrappy and be disruptive, I think you can get some teams to turn the ball over. And we felt like Colorado was one of those teams. And let's be realistic, these swings are hard. I mean, they're coming west to east. They just played a game on Wednesday. It was our bye week. We had a lot of things I felt like were in our favor. And we're going to play some games when it's in the other team's favor, and you still have to figure out a way to win. I'm happy we were able to play well after a break. We have not done that so far this season. So to have a bye week and then be able to pull this one out is even bigger. But absolutely, I just think we have to continue to defend and rebound.
And then tonight, obviously, this is your first year in Cincinnati. You see Cheryl Cook get honored there at the end of the first quarter. Then you go off like that to have the performance you have. Were you able to talk to her after the game at all within the locker room?
I actually was. She said she wished she played with me. I wish I played with her too. But it was very good talking to her after the game.
And then Katrina, how special is it to have Cheryl here for all these games and just being back in the locker room around this program?
Well, it's special because of who she is to the program, but it's special to me personally. I've known who she was and of her since she came to some of our AAU practices when I was a teenager, because we're both from Indianapolis, and she's just a legend everywhere that she's been, high school, college, and she believes in what we're doing so much. The fact that she shows up and she's visible. She's also pretty shy. She was up in the stands, I heard, and then they had to bring her down to courtside. So I think having someone that is of that status, be that humble, and for our kids to see that, to witness that, and just to witness her greatness. The last time she was here, we played really well too. So I don't know, maybe we need to get her to come out a little more often.
Coach, earlier this week, you had 3 of your signees in the 2025 class be named nominees for the McDonald's All-American game. What does it mean to you to have Cincinnati be up on that list and see some of your players on there?
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. I mean, my teammates show up here too, and they talk about it, and I think there's just so many people behind us. I mentioned the crowd in the opening statement. We felt the energy today. I mean, and there's so many people. Of course, it's the community, but it's also alumni. And there's just so many people that are showing up to support. Those recruits are going to increase our talent level, but they're going to be freshmen, and so we're going to get them to be tougher. We're going to get them to play harder because, again, when you lose Tineya, Jill, and Daly, you're going to lose a lot no matter how talented they are. So they have big shoes to fill, but I do think that they're talented enough to do so.
Coach, what was working so well in the fourth quarter? You really just guys clamped down on them and really suffocated their shooting in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think it's just locking in. Again, Tineya being the head of the snake defensively, how she sits down and stops the ball, that matters. And I think it spills over into the rest of the team. You got Allianz being an enforcer on the inside, and I think that matters. The minutes that Daly Dunn gets, and she comes in and she chases people around and gets them exhausted because she never gets tired. You name it, Ramaya Bird's scrappiness, getting in the game. Delaney, we talked about how many tips she got on rebounds. She may not have pulled any in, but she was responsible for a couple that Ari was able to get, who had 8 rebounds for us tonight. To me, it's just them all being bought in. Like, we play 11 people, and we need 11 people. And I love that they're still locked in at this point in the season, not knowing if they're going to play 5 minutes or 15 minutes. They still show up every day. They work hard, and they're bought in.
Talk about the physicality of Colorado. I mean, they were playing hard. You guys had to match their intensity. That was one of the toughest performances I've seen out of your squad. I think everybody really stepped up. Talk about the toughness of your team to really match that physicality.
Yeah, we talk about practice. Practice is tough and physical. One of the things our coaches told Jill was the reason we were able to rebound like that down the stretch was because of how hard Jill plays every day in practice. And Destiny, who isn't playing in games right now, is practicing, and she is bumping and hitting and knocking people down. And the games are not the first time that we feel that. We feel it in practice. Tineya gets hacked in practice too. When she's driving down the lane line, somebody's coming over to try to contest her shot, and she ends up on the ground as much as you saw her today. So I think that that's something that's incredible about our team. We have a great practice squad that comes in and challenges us as well. They give us the size and the athleticism that we're going against too. Again, when I say it takes everyone, it takes everyone. Thank y'all so much.